Hi everyone, welcome back to Sydney and Starlet, and if you are new here,
welcome.
Enjoy the videos. So today me and Sydney are going to be reading Disney's The Jungle Book 2, a read it aloud storybook. So let's begin. The Man Village. Mowgli wasn't sure about life in the Man Village. Sure, the village leader and his wife treated Mowgli like a son, and he even had a new 4-year-old brother, Rajan. But he had to do so many chores and obey so many rules. Mowgli often missed his carefree days in the jungle. He liked telling stories about his adventures and performing puppet shows for his new friends and family, although sometimes Rajan got in the way. Mowgli's new friend, Shanti, liked hearing his stories, but sometimes he and Rajan would try to scare her with tales of the wild jungle. One morning, Mowgli and Rajan raced down to the river. They arrived seconds before Shanti did. "What are you doing here?" she asked Mowgli. "I'm on the lookout," Mowgli told her. "Yesterday, I saw tiger tracks right here. So watch your back, or the last thing you'll hear is roar!" Rajan yelled, leaping out of the bushes. Shanti screamed and dropped her water jug. "You're horrible, horrible, stinky boys," she cried. "Come on, Rajan. He's a bad influence," she said, dragging the young boy away. Mowgli felt bad about scaring Shanti, so he brought the water jug back to her. Then he decided to show her and Rajan a clever trick he had learned in the jungle. He shot a banana out of its peel and right into Rajan's mouth. "Well, here's a little trick I learned right here at home," Shanti said. She tossed the mango into the air. It caught on a branch and peeled itself on the way down. "Wow, that's a neater trick," Rajan cried. Moments later, Mowgli started dancing to the jungle rhythms from across the river. Rajan and the other village children joined in. Even Shanti couldn't help dancing along. Suddenly, she realized where Mowgli was leading them. "Wait!" she cried. "Stop! You're crossing the river! You can't go into the jungle!" Rajan's father heard Shanti's cries. He called the children back, then scolded Mowgli. "The jungle is a dangerous place," he said. He rolled up his sleeve to show Mowgli the scars on his arm. Scars from a tiger's claws. "I should know." Later, Mowgli stared out his window at the jungle in the distance. "Oh, Baloo," he whispered. How he missed his best friend. At that same moment, out in the jungle, Baloo the bear was missing Mowgli. He tried to build a man cub out of plants and a coconut, but it just wasn't the same. Bagheera the panther watched Baloo. "Poor fellow," he murmured. As Baloo and Bagheera wandered off, a shadow fell across the clearing. It was Shere Khan the tiger. His huge paw came down hard, crushing the fake Mowgli head. Shere Khan was still angry at Mowgli for burning his tail with a fiery branch. He wanted revenge. All he had to do was find the man cub. Meanwhile, Baloo decided it was time to find his little buddy. He set off for the man village. Bagheera stepped in front of him. "It's not safe for Mowgli in the jungle," he said. "You know Shere Khan is looking for him." But Baloo wouldn't listen. Not even Colonel Hathi and his elephant troops could stop him from going to the man village. As Baloo entered the man village, he had no idea that Shere Khan was close behind him. "Papa Bear! Boy, am I glad to see you!" Mowgli cried when he saw his friend. He and Baloo gave each other a big hug. Then, the happy pair began playing the way they used to in the jungle. Shanti arrived just in time to see the reunion. She thought Baloo was a wild bear and that he was attacking Mowgli. "Help!" she screamed. "There's a wild animal in the village!" Startled, Baloo grabbed Mowgli and ran away. The villagers rushed out and spotted Shere Khan. They quickly chased the tiger out of the village. Shanti was confused. Why wasn't anyone helping her save Mowgli from that vicious bear? She chased Baloo and Mowgli herself, all the way across the river and into the jungle. Rajan was the only one who saw her go. Back in the jungle, Kaa spotted Baloo and Mowgli as they wandered into the jungle. "Do my snake eyes deceive me?" he said. "It's this succulent man cub." Unaware of the snake, Baloo licked some tasty ants from the bottom of a rock. Then he tossed the rock to Mowgli. "Thanks, Baloo." Mowgli licked off a few ants, then threw the rock over his shoulder. It hit Kaa right in the head. As Shanti searched for Mowgli, Kaa spotted her too. But Rajan appeared just in time to save Shanti from the hungry snake. "Bad snake!" Rajan shouted, beating Kaa with a stick. Moments later, Shere Khan found Kaa lying dazed on the ground. "Where is the man cub?" the tiger demanded. Kaa didn't know where Mowgli had gone, but he didn't want to make Shere Khan angry. "He's at the swamp," he fibbed. So Shere Khan set off for the swamp just as the villagers reached the jungle in search of the 3 missing children. Colonel Hathi and his elephant troops panicked when they heard the humans. They were afraid the humans were there to go hunting. "Man is in the village!" Colonel Hathi cried. A group of villagers passed nearby. Bagheera saw that the elephant was right. "Shanti! Rajan!" called a woman. "Mowgli!" Rajan's father cried. Suddenly, Bagheera realized why the villagers were there. "Baloo," he muttered. Mowgli had no idea he was causing such trouble. He tossed a mango into the air, just as Shanti had done back at the village. It peeled itself on a tree branch on the way down. "Not bad," Baloo said. "Where'd you learn to do that?" "Shanti showed me," Mowgli replied. "Shanti?" Baloo repeated suspiciously. He was a little jealous that Mowgli had a new friend. Just then, Bagheera arrived. "What are you doing out here, Baggy?" Baloo asked, hiding Mowgli behind him. "Man is in the village," Bagheera replied grimly. "They're searching for Mowgli." "Wow," Mowgli said after Bagheera left. "The whole village is looking for me? I wonder if Shanti's with them." "Shanti?" Baloo exclaimed. "You definitely don't want her to find you, do you?" Mowgli realized his old friend was right. He didn't need his human friends anymore. He made Baloo promise to scare Shanti away if she ever caught up with them. Baloo agreed, and the pair practiced their scaring. Shanti was worried. She and Rajan were lost. She made a map of sticks and stones to help them figure out where they were. "Okay, here's the village," she muttered. "We crossed the river and, as Shanti rearranged some of the stones, Rajan spotted a coil of mango peel nearby. Shanti gasped when she saw the peel. "It's Mowgli! He must have been here!" she shouted. On his search for Mowgli, Shere Khan had just reached the swamp, but there was no sign of the man cub. "That snake lied to me," Shere Khan growled. Some vultures were watching him. "We heard that kid is right here in the jungle, right under your whiskers," one of them told Shere Khan. "They say he's headed downriver with the bear." "Downriver, you say?" The tiger smiled wickedly and dashed off. Meanwhile, Baloo took Mowgli to an old temple. As a baboon band started to play, Baloo and Mowgli danced off into the crowd. After the dance was over, a monkey asked Mowgli, "They don't swing out like that in your man village now, do they, kid?" "He told me all about that scene," Baloo interrupted. "They've got rules, rules, rules." Mowgli started to feel bad. They made it sound as if the man village were a terrible place to live. Mowgli slipped away from Baloo and the others. He found a tree branch with a view of the man village and climbed onto it to think. Staring at the village, he wondered where he really belonged. He missed Shanti and Rajan and his other friends in the village, but he didn't want to leave Baloo and his friends in the jungle. What was he supposed to do? Finding Mowgli. As Shanti and Rajan continued searching for Mowgli, they heard a sad humming up ahead. "Mowgli!" Rajan cried happily. He and Shanti found their friend sitting in a tree. Mowgli was so surprised and excited to see them that he slipped and got tangled in some vines. "What are you doing out here?" he asked Shanti. "We came to save you," Shanti explained. Seconds later, Baloo appeared. The bear gasped. "It's her!" He remembered that Mowgli wanted him to scare Shanti away. Roar! Baloo charged toward them. "Baloo, don't!" Mowgli cried. But it was too late. Rajan screamed in terror. Suddenly, the bear tripped on the vine. It wrapped around his leg, tangling him just like Mowgli. Shanti was scared, but she was angry too. She stepped up and punched Baloo right in the nose. Mowgli felt terrible. This was all his fault. All of a sudden, Shanti realized what was going on. "You planned this?" she demanded, glaring at Mowgli. "No!" Mowgli cried. "Shanti, I can explain." Shanti grabbed Rajan and stormed off. Mowgli chased after them, leaving Baloo behind. Mowgli caught up with Shanti a moment later. Her eyes were wide and frightened. Mowgli turned and saw Shere Khan slinking toward them. The tiger chuckled. "You seem surprised to see me, man cub." Mowgli jumped in front of Shanti and Rajan, trying to protect them. "Run!" Mowgli whispered to his friends. Mowgli, Shanti, and Rajan ran through the jungle until they found a hiding place in some overgrown bushes. "Stay here," Mowgli told them. "Mowgli, no!" Shanti cried, but Mowgli had already run off with Shere Khan in hot pursuit. "Rajan, wait here," she said. "I've got to help Mowgli." Rajan did as she said for about 2 seconds. As she followed the others, he ran into Baloo. "Where's Mowgli?" Baloo asked the boy. Rajan pointed. "Shere Khan!" "Shere Khan? Hold on!" Setting Rajan on his shoulders, Baloo rushed to the rescue. Mowgli was still doing his best to stay ahead of Shere Khan. He reached the ruins of an ancient city and hurried on into a giant theater to find a hiding place. A second later, Shere Khan appeared. The tiger glanced around. The theater was silent and still. "No matter how fast you run, no matter where you hide, I will catch you," Shere Khan said with a growl. Come out wherever you are." As Baloo and Rajan searched for Mowgli, they ran into Bagheera. The panther was startled to see another man cub. "Take the kid, Baggy," Baloo panted, handing Rajan over to Bagheera when they reached the ruined city. "I'll help Mowgli." "Baloo," Bagheera called. "Be careful." Baloo nodded. Then he crept into the theater. While Shere Khan prowled nearby, Baloo quietly searched for Mowgli. Suddenly, Baloo heard a noise. He slowly rounded a corner and ran right into Shanti. "You!" they both cried. They started to argue. Then they realized they both were there for the same reason, to help their friend. "All right," Baloo said to Shanti. "You go that way. I'll cover you." While Baloo and Shanti each hid behind a giant gong, Mowgli dove behind another one. The three friends tricked Shere Khan by taking turns banging the huge discs. Soon, the confused tiger was running in circles, chasing the sounds. Suddenly, Shanti's gong fell over, revealing her hiding place. Mowgli jumped out to save her. Shere Khan's eyes narrowed. "No more games, man cub." Mowgli and Shanti ran away as Baloo tried to distract Shere Khan, but the tiger ran past Baloo and chased Mowgli and Shanti onto a ledge overlooking a pit of boiling lava. Shere Khan roared as he closed in. The man cub was about to be his. Baloo ran toward them as the tiger charged. "Mowgli, look out!" the bear cried. As Shere Khan leaped at them, Mowgli and Shanti jumped across the lava pit onto a giant stone statue. Shere Khan followed, but his weight was too much for the crumbling stone. The statue collapsed, and they all tumbled down, heading straight for the bubbling pit. Luckily, Baloo stretched his giant paw down just in time to grab Mowgli and Shanti. Mowgli and Shanti looked down to see that Shere Khan had landed on a stone pedestal surrounded by lava. The tiger was trapped. A few minutes later, Mowgli watched sadly as Shanti and Rajan were reunited with their parents. He looked at Baloo. Suddenly, Mowgli knew where he belonged. "Oh, Baloo," Mowgli murmured sadly. Baloo guessed what was coming. "It's okay, kid," he said. "Go on." Mowgli stared at his old friend. "Really?" Baloo nodded. Mowgli grabbed him, burying his face in the bear's warm fur. They hugged for a long moment. "I'm gonna miss you, Papa Bear," Mowgli said. "Me too, little britches," Baloo replied with a sniffle. "Me too." Back at the man village, life went on as usual. Well, almost as usual. "Come on, Mowgli," Shanti called. "We'll be late." Mowgli grabbed a large water jug. "I'm right behind you," they told the grown-ups they were going to fetch water. Then they raced to the river and skipped across the rocks to the jungle side. Rajan popped out of Mowgli's jug. "Let's remember to actually bring back some water," Mowgli said to the others. As they drummed on the empty jugs, Baloo emerged from the jungle. "Hiya, Papa Bear," Mowgli called happily. Soon, Bagheera appeared too. Rajan hopped onto the panther's back as Baloo, Mowgli, and Shanti danced to the jungle rhythms. Mowgli was finally where he belonged, with all his friends. That is the end. So that is it for today, everyone. Really hope you all enjoyed it, and we'll see you all next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Pick out your favorite page. Who's your favorite character?
Yeah.
Shere Khan. Okay. Bye-bye.